Plastic is a material we invented. It's strong, light, and useful in so many ways. But there's a problem. We create so much of it, and then we just throw it away. This discarded plastic becomes pollution. It doesn't simply vanish. Instead, it accumulates in our world. It gathers in our cities, our countryside, and our oceans. Plastic pollution is the buildup of these man-made items in the natural environment. This buildup is now so vast that it has become one of the most pressing environmental issues we face. It's a silent saboteur, quietly undermining our planet's health. The reach of this pollution is truly global. It knows no borders. A plastic bottle dropped in a city street can begin an incredible journey. Rain can wash it into a river. The river then carries it out to the sea. Ocean currents can then transport it thousands of miles across the globe. It can end up on the shores of a remote, uninhabited island. It can even be found in the deepest parts of the ocean, like the Mariana Trench. Scientists have also found plastic in the ice of the Arctic and the snow on the highest mountains. No corner of our planet is left untouched. This plastic invasion causes great harm to the natural world. In our oceans, vast swirling patches of plastic debris have formed, some larger than entire countries. These are not solid islands, but more like a thick, soupy mix of plastic pieces. Marine ecosystems, which have developed over millions of years, are now struggling to cope. Coral reefs, the vibrant cities of the sea, can become smothered by plastic bags, blocking the sunlight they need to survive. The very foundations of these delicate underwater worlds are being threatened by our carelessness. The beauty and complexity of nature are being choked by our waste. The most insidious part of this problem is the creation of microplastics. Over time, sunlight and waves break down larger plastic items. They don't disappear. They just become smaller and smaller pieces. These tiny fragments, often less than 5 millimeters in size, are called microplastics. They're almost invisible, yet they're everywhere. They're in the water we drink, the air we breathe, and even the salt we use on our food. These tiny particles act like sponges, absorbing harmful chemicals from the environment. They have now infiltrated every level of the food chain, creating a hidden danger for all living things. The impact on wildlife is both heartbreaking and devastating. We've all seen the images. A sea turtle mistaking a plastic bag for a jellyfish, its favorite food. A seabird with its stomach full of plastic bottle caps, unable to eat real food. A seal entangled in a discarded fishing net, struggling to move or breathe. These are not isolated incidents. They happen every single day, all around the world. Animals can become trapped in larger plastic items, leading to injury, drowning, or starvation. The ingestion of plastic is a slow, cruel poison, causing internal injuries and a false sense of fullness that leads to malnutrition. The harm doesn't stop with animals. It extends to us, to human health. The microplastics that have worked their way into the food chain are now ending up on our plates. When we eat seafood, we're very likely consuming these tiny plastic particles as well. The chemicals that these plastics have absorbed can be released into our bodies. Scientists are still working to understand the full long-term effects of this. However, many of these chemicals are known to be harmful. We are, in essence, consuming the pollution we have created, a stark reminder that we are part of nature, not separate from it. Our magnificent oceans are bearing the brunt of this crisis. They have become the world's final dumping ground for our plastic waste. It's estimated that millions of tons of plastic enter our seas every year. This is equivalent to dumping a garbage truck full of plastic into the ocean every single minute. This relentless flow of pollution is changing the very chemistry of the water. It suffocates marine life, damages vital habitats like mangroves and seagrass beds, and disrupts the delicate balance of the entire marine ecosystem. The blue heart of our planet is in serious trouble. The problem is made worse by the very nature of plastic. Most plastics are not biodegradable. This means they don't rot away like a piece of fruit or wood. Instead, they persist in the environment for hundreds or even thousands of years. A single plastic bottle can outlive many generations of our own families. This durability, once seen as a great advantage, is now our planet's curse. Every piece of plastic ever made, unless it has been incinerated, still exists somewhere on Earth. This incredible persistence is why the problem is growing larger and more urgent with each passing day. There is a deep and often overlooked connection between plastic pollution and climate change. The story of plastic begins with fossil fuels. Most plastics are made from oil and natural gas. The process of extracting these fuels and manufacturing plastic releases huge amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This contributes directly to the warming of our planet. So, our reliance on plastic is also a reliance on the very substances that are driving climate change. The more plastic we produce and consume, the more we fuel this crisis. It's a cycle of destruction that links our waste to the warming of our world. Managing the sheer volume of plastic waste we produce is an immense challenge. Recycling systems, while well-intentioned, are often overwhelmed. Not all plastics can be recycled easily, and the process itself can be expensive and complex. Many countries lack the infrastructure to manage their own plastic waste effectively. As a result, a great deal of plastic ends up in landfills, where it can sit for centuries, potentially leaking harmful substances into the soil and groundwater. Or worse, it's simply mismanaged, left to be carried by wind and water into our natural landscapes and oceans. Single-use plastics are a particularly troublesome part of this issue. Think of the plastic water bottle, the coffee cup lid, the straw, or the food wrapper. These are items designed to be used for just a few moments, yet they are made from a material that lasts forever. This creates a fundamental mismatch. We're using a permanent material for a temporary purpose. This culture of convenience has created a mountain of waste that serves no long-term purpose. The hidden cost of that single-use item is a legacy of pollution that will last for generations to come, a fleeting convenience with a lasting consequence. The scale of the problem can feel overwhelming. Our global production of plastic has grown exponentially over the last few decades. We now produce hundreds of millions of tons of it every year. A significant portion of this is for single-use packaging. Our economic systems have encouraged this throwaway culture, prioritizing profit and convenience over environmental responsibility. We've built a linear system of take, make, dispose. This system is simply not sustainable on a finite planet. We're taking resources, making products designed for a short life, and then simply discarding them into the environment. But there is hope. Human ingenuity, the same force that created plastic, can also find the solutions to this crisis. Scientists and innovators around the world are developing new materials that can help us move away from our reliance on fossil fuel-based plastics. These include biodegradable materials made from plants such as cornstarch or algae. These materials are designed to break down naturally and harmlessly back into the environment. Imagine packaging that could simply be composted along with your food scraps. This kind of innovation points towards a future where our consumption doesn't leave a permanent scar on the planet. Alongside new materials, we need better policies and stronger laws. Governments have a crucial role to play. They can implement bans on the most harmful single-use plastic items, such as bags, straws, and cutlery. They can introduce systems that make producers responsible for the entire life cycle of their products, including their disposal. This encourages businesses to design products that are easier to reuse or recycle. International agreements are also vital, as plastic pollution is a global problem that requires a coordinated global response. Strong leadership can create the framework needed for real, lasting change. Businesses, too, must be part of the solution. Many companies are now rethinking their packaging and operations. They're finding ways to reduce the amount of plastic they use, switching to more sustainable alternatives, and investing in new recycling technologies. This shift is often driven by consumers who are increasingly demanding that the companies they support act responsibly. By choosing products with less packaging or from businesses committed to sustainability, we can all send a powerful message. This collective pressure can help to shift the entire market towards a more circular and less wasteful model. Ultimately, the power to turn the tide on plastic pollution lies with all of us. It requires a fundamental shift in our thinking and our habits. Every choice we make, no matter how small it may seem, can contribute to the solution. Choosing a reusable bag, carrying a reusable coffee cup, or refusing a plastic straw are all small acts of defiance against a throwaway culture. When millions of us take these small steps together, they create a powerful wave of change. We must work together, individuals, communities, businesses, and governments, to protect our shared home. The future of life on Earth, in all its wonderful variety and beauty, depends on the actions we take today. For more such informative and educational videos, connect with us at the Content Connect Hub.